Hi, today we are going to discuss subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is a part of verbal, and from my own experience, I believe this is one of the most complex parts of sentence correction. Subject-verb agreement says that whenever you're making a sentence, the subject of that sentence and the verb of that sentence must agree. By agree, I mean number one, they must exist. Existence is important. And second, they must agree in number. Many a times we've encountered this question: the king and his soldiers, were or was? We've been confused. The king and his soldiers were going to hunt. The king and his soldiers was going to hunt. Which one makes more sense? Every soldier and his wife is staying. Is staying or are staying? So that is the question which we encounter mostly when we are solving subject verb agreement. And here is a shortcut which you need to remember to always get these type of questions correct. Whenever you have and, the verb is plural. Each, every, and no. With these, the verb is singular when written before the subject. So every time these three words come before the subject, the verb has to be singular. And the final case is whenever you have either or, neither nor, not only, and but also. In these situations, you have a case. Case 1 is if both subjects are singular, the verb is singular. If both subjects are plural, the verb is plural. And if one subject is singular and one is plural, the verb takes the form of the subject nearest to that verb. To solve this, to understand it more clearly, I have an example. Look at the example below. Either the bears or the lion has escaped from the zoo. What do you think has been done here? Why do you think has is present here? Bears is subject 1. Lion is subject 2. Going by the condition either or, neither nor, and the case 3, one singular and one plural. As you can see, bears is plural and lion is singular. Verb form of the subject nearest to the verb. What is nearest to the verb? Nearest to the verb is lion, and hence our verb agrees with subject 2, which is lion. I have one more example to show you here. Look at the question. Efforts to equalize the funds available to school districts, a major goal of education reformers and many states in the 1970s, has not significantly reduced the gaps existing between the richest and poorest districts. I would encourage you to pause the video for 10 seconds and think about the question. Think what is the mistake here. Then take 30 seconds to read the questions, to read every option. Then take 30 seconds to read every option and think of the correct answer. Now let's discuss this. When we are saying efforts to equalize the funds available to school districts, our main topic of discussion is efforts. Even if we remove this part, our sentence makes sense, and hence this has is referring to efforts. When we are thinking in this way, we are able to realize that the sentence becomes efforts to utilize. Our sentence becomes efforts to equalize the funds available to school districts have not. When we are talking about efforts, we realize that efforts are plural. Hence, we need to have here. This option goes out of the picture, this option goes out of the picture, and this option goes out of the picture. Then we are left with D and E. Efforts to equalize the funds available to school districts have not significantly reduced the gap that exists. This says option D. And option E is efforts to equalize the funds available to school districts have not been significant in a reduction of the gaps existing. Doesn't this sound awkward and wordy? Especially this part? If I have to choose between these two, I would definitely go for the D option. And that is the correct option because option E does not make sense in this particular part. So you understand from this example, every single word is important while solving any GMAT question. I hope you are able to understand the concept very well. For more practice, go to Official Guide and start solving questions on sentence correction. To understand the concept even deeper, I would recommend the Manhattan Guide. Happy learning.